To our other top story, the college student who jumped over the White House fence on Thanksgiving Day, draped in an American flag. He's been released from custody. He walked out of court and was ordered to live with his mother in Connecticut.
Tonight, we have team coverage of that case and the calls for tighter security. Scott McFarland reports on the upgrades that were planned for the executive mansion and the delay in executing those upgrades.
But let's begin with Megan Fitzgerald. She's live outside the courthouse as the suspected fence jumper's lawyer reveals why he did it. Megan?
Yeah, Joseph Caputo's attorney says he jumped the White House fence because he had to send a message to the federal government. But instead, he's been charged with one count of illegal entry on restricted grounds, which comes with a maximum of 1 year in prison. Joe, why did you jump the fence? Joseph Caputo didn't have anything to say as he walked into court this morning. But his attorney, Stephan Seeger, said he had a message for the federal government, which is why he hopped the White House fence on Thanksgiving with a binder in his mouth.
He's a politically conscious young man. Some of the things that he wrote in his rewritten constitution of sorts include the need for change in education, the separation of powers, voting, and that type of thing.
Over the summer, steel spikes were put in place on the White House fence as a temporary measure to increase security. But even though Caputo proved those measures were ineffective, Seeger doesn't believe his client was ever a security risk.
Without a weapon, without a vehicle, he jumped the fence with a binder that contained those expressions of his own thoughts in his hand.
According to court documents, it was a plan Caputo was willing to die for. Investigators say they found a suicide note from the home where he was staying in Virginia. They also uncovered a will, but Seeger insists his client is not suicidal.
He left some instructions for his family so that they would know what happened if he wasn't around, basically.
Nevertheless, Caputo is heading back home to Connecticut. He's not allowed to return to D.C. until he heads back to court in January. Now, a judge ordered Caputo to wear an electronic monitor. He also put a curfew in place from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., and he ordered a psychological evaluation in Connecticut. He is due back in court here in D.C. on January 12th. Jim?